Man, these winter sales have been kind of crazy. So many visual novels bought. Hey! Listen carefully, you idiot. There's no time to lose. I'm you from the future, and I've come to warn you of your own impending doom. Come with me if you want to live. O-P-P-A-I, Taksen, Opai, O-P-P-A-I, Oki. Weren't we supposed to be in some sort of hurry? Hey, it's not my fault these types of games no longer exist in my era. Wait, here comes the Kino part. Geez, what a weirdo. Anyway, since we have finally reached the end of 2024, I thought it would be fun to try to speculate about what the upcoming year might hold for visual novels. I feel like the industry has been showing enough patterns for us to make some educated guesses. And hey, if I actually get some of them right, I can be all smug about it in the future. So just let me put on my tinfoil hat, because these are my 2025 visual novel predictions. Let's begin with an easy topic: visual novel remakes. The most obvious candidate would be Elf's Kakyuusei, especially considering that Doukyuusei 1 and 2 also received that sort of treatment. I get the feeling these two ended up being quite successful, since the first one was not only officially translated into English by Shirobun, but even got ported to the Nintendo Switch. So really, it's just a matter of time before Kakyuusei also joins their ranks, although its notorious sequel might have a harder time in that regard. However, I don't want safe and easy choices. Instead, let's go out on a limb and pick something far less evident. There's already a handful of announced remakes, such as the first DaCapo, Leaves to Heart, or Neko Soft's Mizuiro. Judging by those and other remakes released so far, I think it's fair to say that early 2000s visual novels are the usual target for this type of trend. With that in mind, my prediction picks would be Kana Imouto, Snatcher, and probably Kusarihime Euthanasia. That last one in particular is where I would place most of my bets. It seems like Lyresoft's latest game got a somewhat lukewarm reception, and their previous titles have been catering to even smaller niches than they usually do. So coming back with a fan-favorite VN seems like a logical way of winning over old fans while also bringing in a new audience. As far as other individual visual novel developers, one that I feel will release, or at least announce something, is Krupo. I will admit that I've yet to play any of their games, so I have no idea how much potential they have for a sequel. But to me, the Nukitashi anime feels like a pretty good opportunity for them to reveal their next VN. Another developer I believe is worth highlighting is Alice Soft, although I don't know how many of their old staff are still working there. Just the other day, they already announced that they will be revealing some projects next year. I have seen people guessing, or fearing, that these games will be of the gacha kind. But personally, I want to say it's time for them to make another RPG. It's probably too overly optimistic to expect them to develop something that matches their usual scale or scope. But a man can hope. I also want to make a special mention of August, since they haven't released anything since Senmomo's fan disc in 2019. That being said, I feel like they might throw a curveball and try their hand at making an all-ages visual novel. I actually was going to say that they might remake Yoakena for its 20th anniversary, but seeing how they already released a 15th anniversary, I feel the chances are low, although I wouldn't discard the possibility of a Switch port. Speaking of which, let's predict a couple of those. With the Switch successor supposedly coming out next year, you might think that developers might move on to the new and shiny hardware and leave the old, underpowered tablet to bite the dust. However, visual novels are a genre that usually flourish during the later years of a console's lifespan. For instance, in the Switch's case, it took 7 full years for Muv-Luv and Muv-Luv Alternative to finally be ported. Not to mention how this past year, both TsukiRe and Fate Stay Night received English releases. In 2025, there are already a couple of big-name VNs lined up, such as the previously mentioned ToHeart remake, the next installment in the Memories Off series, remasters of Ever 7 and Never 17, and, at long last, the Utawarerumono trilogy. This latter one I find particularly interesting, as Aqua Plus is known for their stubbornness in releasing console games for platforms other than the PlayStation. I think this trilogy release could open up the gates for a re-release of White Album 2, especially since 2025 would mark its 15th anniversary since the introductory chapter's release. Perhaps unlikely, but I would buy it in a heartbeat. Anyway, one developer I'm surprised hasn't released anything on Switch yet is Baku, the developer behind Black Sheep Town and Hirahira Hihiru. Between the two, I believe Hirahira Hihiru has a strong chance of being ported, mostly because it's published by Aniplex, who has already released some VNs on Switch, but also because it's already translated and it's not as long as Black Sheep Town. That being said, my unconventional 2025 Switch port prediction will go to an all-ages conversion of the Kara no Shoujo trilogy. Yes, I know it's not exactly a story where you can strip out that sort of content, but hear me out. The Flower series has already been ported to Switch. The publisher behind those versions, Prototype, is also known for including English on their releases when available. And guess which series is getting its final installment officially translated next year? I'm not a lunatic, it makes perfect sense. Well, a little bit of sense. But let's finally delve into the big prediction, the one you all have been waiting for. Anemoi is getting delayed to 2026. Wait, I got my cards mixed up. Okay, the actual big reveal. You guys ready? TsukiRe Remake Part 2 is dropping late next year. It's finally happening, boys, mark my words. Nasu will at last deliver and fulfill its decades-long promise. It's going to be so great. And Sachin will get her much-deserved root in Best Girl Hisui too. And we will see. And while we're at it, this channel will reach 10,000 subs. Hell yeah. What a silly video. Anyway, I know this one ended up being on the shorter side, but it's the holiday season, and I didn't want to spend too much time making it full length. But since you are already here, I guess I could give you guys a short channel update. First of all, let me thank you all for simply being here and watching the dumb stuff I make. To be honest, when I made that first Switch tier list video, I was expecting to get maybe 100 or so views. And I know it's not like my current videos are getting thousands of views or anything, but still, considering the topic at hand, it's pretty crazy to me so many of you are watching them. That last tier list video also did remarkably well, and the comments you guys left were quite uplifting too, so thanks again. I guess I should also mention the big synthesized elephant in the room, the AI voiceovers. Look, I know it's not ideal, but it's far more convenient than any other alternative. It also allows me to focus on what I like doing the most, which is doing those silly animations, and of course discussing whichever VN I'm playing. There's also another reason, which has to do with the current schedule I've been following. As some of you may have noticed, I've been trying to publish one video per week. I'm going to be completely honest. This has been a far bigger task than I imagined. Getting some of these out just in time has been absurdly challenging. Obviously, it's not like anyone is forcing me to do it. In reality, it's more of a self-imposed challenge. But don't be surprised if in 2025 I skip a week or two. Actually, the next review might come a week later than usual. I simply don't think I will be able to finish in time what I'm playing right now. I will try making another guitar cover to fill in the gap, even though I know it's not the same. So apologies for that in advance. Just to be clear, it's not like I'm burned out or anything like that at all. I still have plenty of ideas and VNs I want to cover. It's just that these games are way too goddamn long, man. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time, and have a happy new year. Mirren out.